What's up, players? Welcome to Sims Tennis. I've got another racket review for you. Today we will be reviewing the Yonex VCORE 98 Tour. I got 3 of these rackets in order to see what the range of specs we can expect are and to get a peek into the quality control as well. I'll put those measurements up on screen before we get into the playtest, but first let's talk about the VCORE 98 Tour. This is a brand new racket for Yonex. They have released the E-Zone Tour with the last few generations of the E-Zone line, but until now they have yet to release a VCORE Tour. The mold and string pattern for the VCORE Tour is the same as the VCORE, but what changes is the weight, swing weight, and balance. The unstrung weight is bumped up from 305 to 315 grams. The strung swing weight moves up from 318 to 326, and the strung balance moves up from 32.5 centimeters to 33 centimeters. Here are the specs of the 3 rackets that I got. You can see that the unstrung swing weights range from 293 to 295. The balances are all 31.5 centimeters, and the weights are grouped around 315 to 316 grams. I chose the racket at the bottom of this list as my demo, and I strung it up with 125 RPM blast at 52 pounds. This brought the strung swing weight up to 326. Okay, so now for the playtest. I've reviewed the latest VCORE 98 on this channel, and I even briefly switched to that racket. I thought it was a very well balanced frame that offered a great blend of playing characteristics, but ultimately I switched away from it because I found it just a tad inconsistent when I would really go after my shots. My biggest concern with the VCORE Tour was that the added mass would make the racket even more inconsistent and launchy, but that's not what I found at all. On ground strokes, the racket was rock solid. It was super stable, and I would say that the launch angle was medium. I felt confident flattening the ball out, especially when it was high in the strike zone. You can obviously hit with a good amount of spin as well, but the added mass on the racket made it swing a little bit slower than the standard VCORE, and that took away a bit from the spin. I really enjoyed the racket on the backhand side. The stability and mass off that side allowed my backhand to really penetrate the court and be more of a weapon than it would be with most other rackets. Forehands were good as well, but it's just not a spin monster. It was great when I shortened up my backswing a bit to ensure that I got to the ball on time, and it produces a really good rally ball just by getting there on time. When I tried to go big, it just required me working a little bit harder to make sure that I was in position and could properly time the ball. On volleys, the racket was great. As long as you could just get it into position, you have plenty of mass and power to do most of the work for you. I found it to feel really controlled as well, which was refreshing because I don't remember feeling this much command over the ball at net with the standard VCORE. Returns with this racket were great, and the added mass and stability really helps out here. When you have time and you can put that mass to use, you can really punish your opponent, but if you don't catch it clean or you just need to block one back, the mass helps out there as well. It also works well for chipping returns back, so I'd say that overall this is a good, well-rounded racket for returns. Serves with this racket were my favorite shot. I love serves with the standard VCORE 98, and the Tour version brought all of the same playability characteristics, but with some added mass that made flat and slice serves even better. I was surprised the most by the control it offered on serves, as it really gave me the confidence to hit my spots. I would say that the one downside serving with this racket was that it's a little slower overhead than the standard VCORE 98, but this really only impacted my kick serve, so I was okay with that trade-off. Alright, so who's this racket for? Overall, this is a good all-around racket for advanced all-court players. I actually found this racket to share very similar characteristics to the Pure Strike, and it swings similarly as well. I think it would sit right between a Pure Strike and an Aero 98 in the Babolat range, but it's just going to be slightly more forgiving due to the isometric head shape. Okay, so that's all for the review. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please hit that like button. Also, please consider subscribing, and don't forget to embrace the grind.